Well, how are you, Miss Legs? How have you been?
Glenn Marshall Adams, I am fantastic, my love. How are you?
Indeed you are. I'm very well, thank you.
Good,
yes.
you look lovely.
Is it because I'm growing out my locks?
It is, yeah. You've got a bit of length there, love.
Going for that mushroom look, dare I say.
This is it. We have pound of mushrooms, love.
Yes, as you know, I'm growing my locks out because I finally have done it.
Oh.
I finally have booked my hair transplant.
Wow.
So
when is it?
I'm going in January. I'm going the whole way to Istanbul by myself to get hairs removed from the back of my head and plugged into the front.
Wow. So, and I'm sure a lot of the listeners will be thinking, especially a lot of our male listeners will be thinking, and anybody who's really has hair loss issues will be thinking, how much is it?
Well, actually, because I'm going to Istanbul, as you can imagine, it's significantly cheaper than had I went to London.
Oh God!
But the overall sort of surgery has cost me about £1,300 all in.
That's brilliant.
Well, in London it's £7,000.
Here, get me to Istanbul.
And like, I know that people will argue, God, you're going to Turkey, you know, life in your hands and all that. I'm well researched. I've done my research. I know people that have went. In fact, I know a number of people that have went and have had really good results. So I'm going on their recommendation.
Right. So you're going to go to the same place, the same surgeons, the same everything that they've went, and you've seen the outcome and how successful it has been.
Yeah,
right,
indeed.
Okay. You could become a wee agent for this company.
Oh, dear God, no.
You could be selling. We could be Sips and Giggles hair transplants via Glenn Marshall Adams. Join Patreon for a discount coupon.
Actually, you could technically do that. There is a referral scheme, whereas if anybody's interested, you get £200 off your treatment if I refer you.
Oh, really?
Because it was somebody that referred me, and I got £200 off mine.
Wow.
So it was a worthwhile exercise. But anyway, we'll have a whole conversation about that in the new year when it happens. Because as you know, it's going to be a couple of months because we're getting into silly season now, and I'm not going to have any time to sort of recover from it. So we'll have to wait until the new year. I can't
wait until we're sitting here and you have all the bandages on and you can't even move your head and you're sitting there mummified. And I come in with a big beehive, so on big hoops and all on, and I look at you and I'll go, oh, I bet you can't wait, bet you're going to take all them bandages off and you're going to hope your hair's is half as good as mine.
To be fair, I was going to say, to be fair, your hair's looking particularly fabulous today.
Thank you, darling.
So are you. Where's the outfit from?
Primark.
For goodness sake, do you never shop anywhere else other than Primark?
Yeah, Shan. Cheapest chips, love.
Oh dear.
Cheapest chips. It's not like I'm going to be going to Buckingham Palace for a cup of tea with the king, is it? Do you know what I mean?
Indeed. So what have you been up to this past couple of weeks? Because it has been a while since we chatted.
Don't even go there with me. I have had backwards and forwards, emails, phone calls, lots of organisation. I don't want to say why because we're so close to it. But it's a major, major project I've been undertaking, and it's 4 years in the making. It's a personal thing.
Okay.
So crossing T's, dotting I's, full stops, apostrophes, commas, you name it. And we're almost there. So that's taken quite a lot of thinking, planning and prepping. So, and now that I'm so close to, I'm afraid to talk to, in case.
Well, listen, we'll move on then. Well, I know that.
But apart from that, I'm still fabulous.
Indeed you are.
Yes,
indeed
darling.
You are. So I was reading the past couple of weeks. I don't know whether you've heard about this, but you know Britney Spears, because you know how I'm a Britney fan. Sorry, Whitney fans, but I'm still a Britney fan.
She's a tramp.
How very dare you?
So she is.
But listen, she's back in the news because her youngest son, Sean Preston Federline, has just turned 18 years old.
Wow.
Now, what this has meant is that, of course, fans have been streaming her single. Do you remember the song, You Better Work, Bitch?
Yeah.
You want a hot body, you want a Bugatti,
yeah.
You want a Maserati. Well, so her fans have been streaming the life out of this to get it back into the Billboard Top 100.
Oh.
I think I mentioned to you before that Britney's fans are diehard, and she's released a lot of music over the years, as you know. Mm-hmm. But because her eldest son, Sean Preston has turned 18, it now means that she no longer needs to pay for him to Kevin Federline, her ex-husband, which is the boy's father, the maintenance money that she would have normally had to pay every month.
Oh, yes.
So fans have now been streaming her single, Work Bitch, in retaliation to tell him to get back to work, bitch.
I love it.
I thought this was...
that's good.
What a way to celebrate the milestone.
Yeah.
Particularly cool. But actually, in other news, so... I don't know whether you've been reading the news, but did you hear about this cruise ship that was stranded in Belfast for 4 months? It made the national news last night.
We were sitting watching it.
It's not madness.
Yeah, and did you hear what happened?
They were off on their journey, but they had to come back to Belfast to sign paperwork.
Yeah, they only got the banger.
Uh-huh.
And apparently the party didn't until 7:30 this morning, and then when they woke up they thought they would have been somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and they looked out and they seen all the wee boats in Bangor Bay. All them big swans, and they were like, oh my God, where are we? You were 20 miles down the road, love. Somebody forgot to sign the wee docket.
But here, like, that cruise is mad. Did you read about it? 15 years, people paid, I think the cheapest room was like £75,000 for 15 years. And it goes right up to like $1 million for 15 years. So
they live on that ship?
They live on that ship for 15 years and they paid a set fee. And they'll circumvent the globe for potentially 15 years, going round and round and round and round the world for one set fee. And they can go off and come back on at any time. They've effectively bought the room for that fee.
Right.
It's a lot of retired people, as you would imagine, and particularly Americans who maybe have worked hard all their lives and are now ready to see the world.
I've seen that lady, and she was in the hotel, and she was blonde. She was a good looking woman, and she had her wee cat with her. Her wee pussy was called Captain.
Oh,
and she was one of the guests.
Her,
yes. She's a very glamorous looking woman.
She was.
And I looked at her and I thought to myself, she doesn't shop in Primark or Shein. So she just want to see the nails on her. The girl looked like she'd never done a dirty dish in her life.
She might have bought her cat outfits in Primark or Shein.
Aye. But her wee pussy was lovely now, lying beside her on the bed.
So, well, listen, anyway, I'm so glad that they finally got to set sail.
Ship ahoy.
I'm excited to hear about the trials and tribulations when the boat breaks down in 3 months' time and they're stranded somewhere in the middle of the ocean.
They're lucky they never went to Bangkok. Honest to God.
So, in other news this week, I came across an article in Belfast Live, and they were talking about European Languages Day, which took place on Thursday, the 26th of September. And the whole idea of this was an annual celebration and an opportunity to promote cultural heritage and linguistic diversity.
Yep.
Now, I'm literally reading that out from what it was in the article. But it got me thinking. So in the article, it talked about a lot of old words that aren't really used in modern day dialect, particularly in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
Now, when I read through quite a lot of the words, I'd never heard of them. Maybe one or two of them stood out, but a lot of them are Ulster Scots words.
Right.
So I thought, well, then why don't we have a bit of fun? Mm-hmm. And why don't we talk about things that Northern Ireland people say?
Oh, I love it.
Because as you know, we've got listeners well beyond the scope of Northern Ireland. We've got listeners in America and France and in Australia. So
because then this also gives us an opportunity to explain if they've listened to all of our other podcasts and they don't get what it is we're saying.
This is true.
This is now the opportunity for us to explain. So when we say these words or these little sayings that we've said for most of our lives, they'll go, oh, that's what that means.
And you've had to wait 20 episodes of our podcast to finally figure out what we're saying.
Figure out what that means, and it's so simplistic. Yeah.
So prior to today,
Right.
I asked you to think of some cracker words that you might have said or that come up. So we'll take it in turns. And we'll have a wee bit of a banter here to see whether we can guess. So I'll go with you first. If you want to go with your first one.
You ready?
Go for it.
Scundered.
Okay, well, I know what this means. Tell me though, but for the benefit of our listeners, what does scundered mean?
Well, it's actually a Scottish term, and it often gets mixed up with scundered, which relates to a Northern Irish person who is absolutely mortified or embarrassed. You know what I mean? I was scundered after that happened to me. Oh, mummy, I was pure cut.
So the Scottish would say scunnered.
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 Yeah. We say scundered.
We say scundered, but they're effectively the same thing.
And another thing I love when Belfast women or people of Northern Ireland, females of Northern Ireland, when they're really embarrassed, they'll say, "Oh, mummy, I am pure scundered." Like, instead of saying, "Oh, mummy, I'm scundered," they'll go, "Mummy, I'm pure scundered." Like, they're really embarrassed.
The proper emphasis because they are pure.
Pure. Uh-huh.
So one that I always get asked about, because people think that we're saying this word and then they're like, you can't say that. And you have to explain to them that I'm not actually saying what they think that I'm saying.
Right.
So the main one is gag. And when you speak to the likes of people, particularly whenever we're away on a holiday where we're mixing with, the Americans or whomever that might be, people from far beyond the shores of Northern Ireland, when you say the word gag, they go, "Did you just call me gay?"
All right. Okay.
And you're like, no, it's a Northern Irish term, which is, we would say that in response to, oh, that's a joke or that's a laugh.
Having a giggle.
Having a prank. Or it's something that like a witty or an amusing person might say, "Oh, it's a queer gag." So it is. Because again, Northern Irish dialect, we finish every sentence with, "So it is." We basically reaffirm what we've just said.
Yeah, with "so it is." We
I did, so it did.
I said, "Oh, mummy, Mary, did the child get her new leg?" "Aye, she did. It's that one there, so it is."
Or, "I was only gagging."
What are you up to? Actually, we're having a gag. No doubt.
But actually, from what I've understood from doing a bit of research into the word, it's actually yet another Scots word.
Is it?
So it's not something that it's something that we've kind of took and have completely sort of morphed into our own local dialect. But the word actually, it's a Scots word called geck, which means mockery or someone who dishes out taunts.
Right.
Or Low German gecken, to make a fool of. So that is the etymology, which is the correct way of saying that's the origin of a word.
The hematology. Mr. God, he's got an ology. He's got an ology, folks. So he has. He's got an ology.
Right, Miss Legs, back to you.
Okay, me. Melter.
Such a cracker one.
It's like knowing you're out, and it's like the bunch of crazy people, and they're all friends, and it's like where's Tina? It's like, don't know. Who cares? She's a melter. Do you know what I mean? But I think melter is a nice, soft, easy way. This is my perception of melter. It can be taken in two ways, either offensively or unoffensively. So, like, if I was to talk about someone, I would mean it as a term of endearment. No, I swear to Almighty God, I do love her, but she's a melter. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That way, and I actually love the word. You know what I mean?
But
so
can't you actually use that as a verb as well? You can say that I'm over there. Oh, where's Tina? Oh, she's over there being a melt.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Or it can be referred to as a melt or a melty. Do you know what I mean? It's like, so for me, it's like, oh my God, see this day, it has been a pure melt.
It has.
Yeah. And it's only recently I've noticed in the last, I would say 5-6 years, that the word pure is added to words like melter or any other wee kind of sort of Belfast sayings, like scundered, pure scundered, pure melter.
Yeah.
Like personified.
Yeah.
Purely personified. What's yours?
Another one that I often get asked about for what I've said is "boutjie."
Love it.
Which is really simple.
Yeah.
All we're simply saying is
"boutjie."
What about you?
Yeah.
How are you?
How are you?
It's just actually typically how friends would greet each other.
Yeah.
Which means, how are you, mate?
Yeah.
How's it going? What are you up to?
Yeah.
What about you? Boutjie.
Boutjie. It's very Belfast,
It's
that one.
Belfast.
It's almost as Belfast as, well, what's happening?
What's a crack?
What's a crack? You know what I mean? Here's another one of mine. I love this one. This is the wee belters, pure Belfast. Go on, you wee buck Egypt.
So what is a buck Egypt?
Well, it's when you're calling someone an Egypt in Northern Ireland, it can be both an insult and a term of endearment, as it's used to describe someone who is silly and has made you laugh. See, you're a wee Egypt. That's the way you own.
Isn't that such a weird thing about our culture, though?
Yeah.
Is that everything doesn't matter how you say it. It's really the context in which it's said is the most important thing.
Exactly.
As to whether somebody takes that as an offensive term or if somebody takes it in the good humour.
Yeah.
Like, because our accent is so threatening anyway. Like,
It really is.
So it's kind of like, you know, it really depends upon the context in which you mean it.
Yeah.
For somebody to take it. But Bucky, that's a cracker one. Right, I have another one.
Cracker.
Keep her lit.
Oh my God. Keep her lit.
So this is another really popular phrase in Northern Ireland, and it can be used in pretty much any situation. That's another word we like to use quite a lot, is situation. So it can be used in pretty much any situation to encourage someone to keep doing what they're doing. And it's typically one of these phrases where you see kids running from the police.
Yeah.
And somebody shouts from the background, "Go on, what a beachy! Keep her lit."
When I travel abroad, it's the one thing that the people abroad will say to me, "Well, what about you?" And they say it in that Northern Irish twang. Do you know what I mean? And it's the one sentence that nearly everybody from abroad gets right and sounds right, because it rolls off their tongue. But no, there's very few people who can actually do a Northern Irish accent. Very few people. They do try, like.
There's been a lot of actors that have tried, and you sort of have cringed.
I went, oh God.
You should have just stuck to your American accent or whatever.
When you see the plays on TV and the movies, this movie was set in Belfast. And it's like, no, well, it might have been set in Belfast, but see your actors. Sorry, love. You should have given me a ring and I'd have been down. Here's another one of mine, and this is going to be so apt for where we're headed, being autumn come winter. Baltic.
Yes.
Which is Baltic. I mean, it's the main way it's used to describe how freezing the weather is and how reminiscent it is to the Baltic Sea. So it's Baltic, freezing. I mean, you can't get any colder than Baltic.
Yeah.
Once you're Baltic, you're Baltic. You know, and I said Baltic.
She loves the bills. Okay, I've one for you.
Go.
Och, boys a dear.
Love it.
So again, I've done a bit of research on the etymology of this word, and I actually looked it up on Reddit, and there was a whole thread on this. There was. So the one that stood out for me the most that I'm going to go with is that it's actually an Irish term.
Oh.
And it comes from, and I'm not an Irish speaker, by the way. I don't know Gaelic, so I'm just going to read it how it's spelled.
Bit, but I can't say it for political reasons.
I'm going to read it how it's spelled. I don't know whether this is the correct pronunciation. So for any of our Irish listeners, apologies in advance. But apparently it comes from the Irish of boys adira, which is linked or noticeable to folly or foolishness. Which would kind of make sense, because you would sort of almost say it as a term of despair. Wouldn't you? Would go, "Oh, boys, a dear." Yeah. Wouldn't you? Like, it's almost can't believe somebody.
I've heard that so many times, but I haven't heard it in a long time.
It's one of those ones that I've not heard in a while.
Yeah.
It's one your granny or something would maybe say, wouldn't it be?
I would often hear my mummy from years ago or my auntie saying, "Ah, boys, a dear." Robbie, Here's another one I love. Gurnin. Gurnin.
That's actually a typical Scottish word.
Yeah. You know, gurnin has two meanings. One is to feel upset and the other one is to complain. Either way, both have negative connotations which relate to feeling down or fed up. So, will you quit your gurnin? Oh, mummy, I gurnt my lamps out. You know, so you have both of those. I love that word. What's she gurning for?
And the Scottish would call gurnin or greeting, which is another word for crying.
Is it?
What are you greeting for?
What are you greeting for?
Never
heard that before.
You've never heard the term greeting?
Never.
Oh. You need to be around more Scottish people.
I do.
Okay, here's another one.
Go.
Is your head cut? So this is another way of describing how stupid someone's being. It's normally said after someone has said something monumentally stupid and no one can fathom how they came up with what they've said. Is your head cut?
Sure. Do you know, here's another thing that we always do in Northern Ireland. We always use the word we.
We.
In front of everything nearly. I look at that wee girl.
You're not talking about the collective you and I we. You're talking about tiny we.
Tiny we. Look at that wee man. You know what I mean? Oh, that's a beautiful wee coat you've on you. It's just, that word goes in front of nearly absolutely everything in Northern Ireland. And it kind of sort of, it's the word that you can expect to hear in most sentences over here is we. And the term is a long-standing Irish and Scottish way of saying little, you know, but however, in Northern Ireland, it is often used to describe things that aren't little at all.
It's true.
Is that so? Would you like to come in and see the 9-bedroom mansion? Oh, Mummy, your wee house is
lovely.
Nice,
so
it is. Here's a saying I would love to, please let me say this one before I forget. This is a belter. How you're wished.
How you're wished.
How you're wished.
That's actually a Scottish term. I would have known that particularly to be a Scottish term. How you're wished.
Yeah, because Line of Duty fans may remember Superintendent Ted Hastings using this as a catchphrase. And he actually caused great confusion among the UK population as a result, because it just sounds like real gibberish.
Yeah, no, it does.
How you're wished.
How you're wished.
Yeah.
Another one for you.
Go.
Dead on. So
how are you, love?
Dead on. How are you?
Dead on.
So this one is one that requires a bit of explanation.
Yes.
Particularly for people not in Northern Ireland. Again, I've had situations where I've said this. Dead on. How are you? Dead on.
Yeah.
And someone's went, who's died?
Yeah.
And you had to explain, oh, no. It's just a way of sort of saying, I'm okay. I'm cool. Yeah. All good.
Or when you've been caught out lying and someone goes to you, dead on. And you go, it is dead on. You know, it's there's nowhere else to go after that.
I'm having a wee hook.
Oh, I love a wee hook. Yes. Oh, I love a wee hook.
This basically means that you're looking for something. So you say, I'll just go in here and have a wee look. Have a wee hook.
Or when you go shopping. You know what I mean? And you're going to have a wee hook.
Oh, it's in the bargain bin, so it was. It's having a wee hook.
Where were you? It was used to declare having a wee hook. So it was. Here's one of my all-time favourites. From you. Oh, don't even talk to me, sure, I'm up the high dough.
High dough, yeah.
Up the high dough. Oh, I love it. Which being up the high dough suggests that a person is very stressed, nervous or excited, depending upon the situation they're explaining. And it's actually both a Northern Irish and Scottish saying, both meaning the same thing. So an example would be, my nerves are racked. Oh, I'm up the high dough.
Up the high dough.
You know what I mean?
So
I think
good.
they're cracker. I absolutely love them.
Okay, so quick fire. So I've got some Ulster Scots terms for you.
Right.
And I want to see if you can guess what they are. Are you ready?
Okay.
Can I get 30 seconds on the clock, please?
Right. Okay.
Here we go. First one. Sluster.
No idea.
Somebody that slouches. Fluster.
Haven't the clue.
Somebody that flusters. A bogle.
Give up.
Bad-mannered person. Cuddy.
A female, a woman.
Yes. Bat.
Somebody who's ugly.
A young, sturdy person, especially somebody that's small, neat and alert. Or an ugly-looking person. Tappy.
Someone who doesn't sit properly, slouches.
A scatterbrain or somebody that's giddy.
Right.
Naff.
A show-off.
To talk in a senseless or pert or frivolous way. And the final one, a gulpin.
Oh, is that somebody who is takes all in? A gulpin is like a.
You thinking like gullible or something
gullible?
Like that?
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that is it because it can be a raw youth, a grown boy, or a fool. So technically, somebody that's gullible.
Right. Okay. You ready for mine?
Go for it.
Okay. Ready? Earl one.
An old person.
An older woman. Okay. Good. Bap.
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 B-A-P.
Something you put icing on and eat.
No, it's a soft roll or a bun.
Oh, that's what I mean. A bun. A bun.
All right, okay, I'll give you that one. Here's another one. Boke.
Oh, the bloke. Oh, that's being sick, or somebody that repulses you.
Okay, then, right, okay. Cack-handed. C-A-C-K-handed.
Oh, I don't know. That's like, is it like backhanded? Is that what it's like? Sly?
Clumsy or awkward. Someone who's clumsy or awkward. Glasket.
Oh, I haven't a clue.
Silly, foolish, or stupid. Okay, here's another one. I'll give you another one. Hammered.
Oh, blocked, drunk, absolutely wasted.
That's it. Here's my favorite. Raid.
Is somebody that is particularly handsome or hot, can be male or female.
Yeah.
And if you want me to use it in a sentence, you would say, "Och, here, Tina, you're a queer raid."
Thanks very much. Look at you big raid.
So the last time that we done our one for the road, we introduced a new segment, which was quick fire, no context questions, which we called Shots. So I went first the last time.
Okay.
So I think you should go first this time.
Me asking you?
No, me asking you.
Oh, yes, okay. Right, hold on a minute now. I better get myself ready.
So remember, the name of the game is no context. You just need to give an answer.
Okay.
And we'll not ask why.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
3. Oh, I'll have 30 seconds on the clock. Okay, here we go. Which pizza topping is your go-to?
Cheese.
What is your current mood?
Twisted.
What is your favourite food?
Pasta.
What's your favourite word?
Fudge.
What's the favourite thing about your job?
Money.
What's your favourite dessert?
Apple crumble and custard.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Who's your favourite superhero?
The Incredible Hulk.
And the last one is morning or night?
Morning.
Okay. Some interesting responses in there.
Yes. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Okay. Can I have 30 seconds on the clock, please?
Ding!
What is your favourite colour?
Blue.
What is your favourite food?
Pizza.
What's your favourite word?
Cracker.
What word do you hate hearing?
I can't really say it.
What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Oh,
Gotcha.
Hard word. What words do I?
What word do you have a hard time pronouncing?
Pass. That's a really hard one.
I gotcha.
God damn you.
You heard it here first, folks. Okay, who do you text the most?
You.
What was your favourite subject in school?
Physics.
What is your favourite body part?
Mine or somebody else's?
Yours.
My legs.
Okay, ready? What is your favourite type of weather?
Oh, autumn.
Okay, here's the last one. Name a 4-letter word that starts with the letter B.
Bull. I do enjoy that.
So do I.
Well, listen, that is nearly all we've got time for.
Yes, our one for the road, Sips and Giggles.
Yes. I just do have a very quick update. Our last episode that we put out was the episode with Miss Trudy Scrumptious.
Yes.
Lots of positive feedback about that. So thank you so much for people who have took the time to message us and to talk to us whenever we've been out at our gigs. And you've talked particularly about how much fun it's been walking down memory lane. We had so much fun recording that. I certainly did anyway.
We did.
So don't forget that part 2 is out next week. And if you are on Patreon, if you've signed up to support us on Patreon, that episode is available now to stream.
Yep.
If you haven't already signed up for Patreon, Go over and sign up. Paid membership gets you access to episodes early, digital content and discounts to our shows.
Yeah.
Paid memberships start from £3, £4 and £5 per month, which is just the cost of a drink, which Tina and I take great pleasure in sharing.
Absolutely. Pink gin and tonic.
Absolutely. And this episode goes out to our paid Patreon, Barry. Thank you so much for signing up, Barry.
Thanks, Barry. And also, don't forget, if you want to get in touch, ladies and gentlemen, send us in a question. We love questions from our listeners. And the crazier, the better. Don't be afraid to ask us anything, because we will be quite open and honest, won't we, darling?
We absolutely will. And not one for this episode, but we have got quite a few questions I need to ask you.
Oh, fabulous.
So it'll be a couple of weeks before we get them out. So for people that have written in, we haven't forgot about you. We just have had other things on.
Busy.
Oh, and in other news, we're now finally on YouTube. I've uploaded all of our episodes to YouTube, so that's another medium where you can go and you can listen. They are audio only. I do need to point out, with the exception of our Pride episode, which is available to watch. That was filmed just before Tina and I went to holiday in the summer.
That was the morning after I had won the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Yes, it was indeed.
What
absolutely.
an honour.
It was.
It really was.
It was. But listen, Legsy.
What, love?
Until next time.
Yes. Chin chin.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of G&T Sips and Giggles. If you've enjoyed our conversation, then don't forget to share it with your friends, and why not subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Your reviews mean the world to us and really help others find the show, so please take a moment to leave one. But be kind. If you'd like to support the podcast, why not consider joining us on Patreon? For the cost of a drink a month, you can listen to episodes early, access exclusive digital content, and get discounts to upcoming G&T shows. Your support helps us keep the conversation flowing. Cheers. We'll see you next time. Chin chin.